In this video, you'll learn how to digitize a CutWork object. You can use an image in the background to digitize CutWork, or you can just use the Digitize tools. I've inserted artwork to use as a backdrop for digitizing CutWork. The artwork should be resized if needed prior to digitizing. Remember, the number 1 key will show you the artwork in actual size. Once the image is resized, right-click on the image and select Lock. This will prevent you from accidentally moving the artwork as you're digitizing. We'll use Digitize Hole to create the CutWork. If the CutWork Docker is not open, you can simply right-click on Digitize Hole and then activate Auto Hide to keep the Docker open. We'll begin by digitizing hole 1. So we'll select that in the Docker. And then I'm going to decrease the stabilizing run to 1. The CutWork tool is the default tool. If you want to cut out the hole with scissors, you put a dot and use scissors. The tack down I'll leave at default. And embroidery, let's choose a blanket stitch. If I want to pre-select the blanket stitch properties, I can open Object Properties and change all the settings. We'll leave it at default. The same rules apply to digitizing CutWork as they do to digitizing any object. You'll use right clicks for curves and left clicks for points, and then let the software close the shape by pressing Enter. This first square will digitize with just left clicks. And then Enter. After digitizing the object, I can always edit by going into Object Properties and changing the offset and clicking OK. Let's choose hole number 2 next and digitize around the next diamond. Again, select Digitize Hole and make your clicks around the diamond. And press Enter. Next, we'll choose hole number 3, and we'll leave the properties at the default and make our clicks around this square. Pressing Enter, and you can see that the net fill is added. Next, hole 4, again using default settings. And then finally, hole 5. So here is the stabilizing run that is stitching for hole 5. Cutting lines are not displayed in artistic view, but you can see that there are cutting lines that have been added with each object. I'm going to unlock the picture and hide the picture by clicking on Bitmap. I'll select all the objects, and you can see Combine Selected is now highlighted. When I click on Combine Selected, all the cuts will be placed together so they will all occur at the same time. And this creates a more efficient stitch out. If I go to Design View and zoom in, you can see the cut lines that are added around the different objects, and they appear as these black lines. Remember that some of the stitching is going to occur after the cuts because these are raw edge cut work. To demonstrate this last cut, I'm going to open up a design, and let's say I wanted to cut around this design and use it as a freestanding piece. In this case, I'll select Digitize Cut. You can see that the cut line is automatically selected in the border. And then with a series of right and left clicks, I will digitize around this design. I do have to come back and click on top of my first click and then press Enter to generate that cut line. I can select that line and reshape it if I need to by adding, moving, changing, and deleting points.